My water pitcher kicked the bucket. So I boiled the water in my little pan and gonna fill my pitcher. I don't like to go out with water because I don't want them to be in my bag and it's in the heat, right? So this morning I woke up with a headache. I was telling the ladies when I was, hola, Elaine, hola. Oh, I'll tell you, it is so hot that you have got to be careful you don't get dehydrated. And I think that's what happened to me. You know, I've been listening to this guy, and he's like, oh, you have to do not a water fast, a dry fast, meaning you don't drink when you're fasting. Well, that's not good. You know, then you get constipated, and no, you need to have water. So I don't know if maybe, you know, some days I drink a lot and some days I don't. But I woke up like around 5 to use the restroom, and I felt the headache. And sometimes when it's really warm, I feel I have a little mild headache. But I knew right then it was because I was a bit dehydrated. I don't want to take my hat off because, you know, I cut all my hair off, but I know what it looks like. But, so I got up and I started drinking. So when I was doing the workout, I told the ladies, I said, okay, we're not going to be doing a lot of exercises, you know, when I'm putting my head down, you know, the blood pulling, it's going to be uncomfortable. So I didn't, and then I kept drinking while we were working out. And I tell you, by the time we were finished, my headache was gone. So I was sitting, I'm going to check my YouTube. And so my headache got better because I hydrated. All right, lady. Be careful, sis. There's a lot going on. Ooh, you gotta kind of watch yourself. Okay, I see the live. So she didn't. I was thinking, okay, that's not good. All right. This is going to be short and sweet, guys. How are you doing? I know I haven't done any lives this week, so I wanted you to see my face, to see that I'm still here. And you know, that's how I go out now with my little, I showed you when I bought that. That works because I put my Metro cards in here. Sometimes I'll put my keys in there. But I also have my key in a lanyard over my head. So that works really good. But I was sitting here working on the computer, and I said, you know, it was about 12. I said, let me go check that place in Costa del Este. Costa del Este is a corregimiento, meaning another, hola Robin, another community, neighborhood of Panama City. Panama City kind of stretches. Remember that Panama is also a, what do they call that? Not region. What do we call those? I'm drawing a blank. Panama has 10. Wow. Now this is what happens when you start getting old. Provinces. I could not think of the word provinces. Panama, the country, has 10 provinces, which you could think of as states, right? because they have clear delineation, and then they have local management, mayors and other officials. And the provinces are divided into districts. So the districts in your mind, if you're from the US, think about counties, right? And then in the counties, you have all the different cities, and then we have, so in Panama is a province. Then Panama has district. I live in the District of Panama, right? So it is a province, it is a district, and then it's a city within the district. I know, it sounds a little complicated. So when you say Distrito de Panama, this is a district, or you say Ciudad de Panama, that is the city. And inside the city, we have 26 different neighborhoods, all right? So it's like you would say the east side, the west side, yeah, we have all that, 26 of them. And Costa del Este would be one of them, okay? And you have to kind of go over the bridge, over the water, and then you get to the other side to go to Costa del Este. But it is one of the newer corregimientos, not provinces, neighborhoods. And it seemed to be a bit on the high scale side, even though outside of Costa del Este, as I was on the bus, then the bus went through another city, another neighborhood called Santa Maria. And they tell me that Santa Maria has the highest real estate in the city. Now, I live on Balboa. Balboa is like mid-size, mid-range. Then you have places like Punta Pacifica, Punta Paitilla, and Balboa, Avenida de Balboa. They have another area they call Balboa. And then the Uber driver told me that they have a Balboa in not Arahan. What's the place over there? I just can't think this afternoon. So they have Balboa names in other areas of the city, but I'm on the Avenida, I'm in the avenue of Balboa. But the real estate in Costa del Este tends to be a bit higher than the rest of the city because it's one of the newer neighborhood. It was planned, so the layout is a bit different. And you have better sidewalks there. So people who use, supportive devices like a walker, or if you have a scooter, those areas are better for you because they had those in mind. They had that in mind. Okay, yeah. The other Balboa is in Rio Abajo, which is on the very north side. But anyway, so I decided to go check a place we call Casa del Jamon, meaning house of ham. Jamon is ham, right? Jabon is soap. Spanish does that. It has these words that sound the same, and you get yourself all confused with them. Or you can have the same word meaning different things. I mean, who does that? But Costa del Este, that's where you're going to find a lot of international companies. Copa Airline has their, I guess it's the bigger corporate offices there. And Copa is a big thing here in Panama. And they have a lot of foreign businesses with headquarters there. Like I saw a big Samsung and some other businesses. So when you get to Costa del Este, people say it gives you Miami Beach vibes. It does have the high rises, lots of PHs, meaning the viviendas are like homes, but they have they have high rises where people live, and then it looks and smells a little. Tawana, hey doctor, how are you, girlie? Miss Gardner just showing off all her things from her garden. I'm jealous. I still haven't done anything on my patio yet. I know you said you were gonna help me when you came, but you didn't say a thing, so it's okay. I still love you. Ah. Oh, no, 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 no. I'm not showing you my hair. This is, look. I haven't brushed it or anything, so that's why I'm covering it. But you know, these little hats feel like whoop now, right? And when you're coming back from anywhere in the evening, that's when we have a breeze. That's what I said. We have, you know, we have balmy evening sometimes. But in the morning and midday and day, ooh, the heat is ridiculous. My family had plans for me since, that's right, it was your birthday. Well, my birthday was last week, and you know, of course, I didn't do anything. I was all into the soccer game, so that's fine. So I'm getting ready for Sunday. But anyway, so if you're looking for a bit higher end in terms of amenities, size, layout of your apartment, if you're thinking of coming to Panama, Costa del Este might be a place you want to consider. Now, Santa Maria, I don't know anybody from the expat community who lives there, but they are. I'm talking $4,500 a month for an apartment, right? So definitely the expectation is a higher level of living in those places. But I said that before, and a sister who lives in Costa del Este, she's like, I heard what you said about Costa del Este. It just doesn't talk to me. I don't feel good when I'm there. You know, I go there. I've been to a hospital with a sister. You know, I've visited a few times, but it's not a place that I would live. I just don't feel like it's me. Maybe because it's a little bit, you know, on the little uppity side. And you know what I see a lot when I go to Costa del Este? I see a bunch of nannies pushing babies. So all these international people who are living here and have to work, everybody has a nanny. Sometimes they're nannying dogs. People have lots of dogs everywhere, of course, and a lot of them are in Costa del Este. But the sidewalks are beautiful. You find all kinds of restaurants. But you know, one person told me maybe 2 or 3 years ago, they said, well, you know, Maggie, it tends to flood because of where it is. And I mentioned that to somebody else. It's like, well, no. But listen, during rainy season, which, are we in rainy season now? It doesn't feel like it is so hot. But sometime in rainy season, when we have a really heavy downpour, streets flood over there. And, you know, and the way the area is like it's got one entrance, and then it does a big old U all around, and it comes. So that when I get on the bus in front of the Copa Airline building, it just goes this way, it goes through Santa Maria, and then it turns around. Now in those areas, you have a lot of average worker people who work in the area, but they don't live there, of course. It's like, you know, I remember being in Maui. People work in Maui, but they don't live in Maui. Or you could be in California, you work in an area, but you can afford to live there. That's what I see, because on the way back, I took the bus going this way. The bus was pretty empty. But I mean, I got there first of all. I mapped it out and I realized if I took an Uber from where I am to Costa, it's gonna be like $8, $9. And Maggie's too cheap for that. I'm not paying all that. Where I can get a bus. The bus to Costa del Este, I think it's 75 cents. It's not 25 cents. Because every time you go over the bridge, you pay more for the buses. Remember that. So all the corridor SWRA, you know, kind of buses, it's 75 cents versus 25 for those of us in city proper. So I said, okay, 75 cents, I can do that. So the way I did it, now where I live, because I was going north, I needed to cross over the overpass, and there is a bus stop right. Yeah, you need to do it. I'll take you. And I have a sister who does that too. And I the overpass, you know, the red railing. You've seen my picture when I'm on it. You go over it to the other side, and there is a bus stop right there. But because it was about 1 o'clock when I was thinking of doing it, there wasn't too much shelter. I was gonna be, it's hot. It's hot. So I'm thinking, right? So there is a bus stop right next to me, 2 blocks out in front of the hospital. So I went there, I took the bus, I took a 25-cent bus, right? And then I went to Cinco de Mayo. Cinco de Mayo is, I think, the second or third busiest bus stop. Maybe it's San Miguelito is the second one. San Miguelito is huge. So maybe it's a third one. So I went to Cinco de Mayo, very popular spot. And then I took the bus to S662 to Costa del Este, and it says that. But they have 2 platforms at Cinco de Mayo. There is one when the bus comes, it goes through the central area. And then you go to the other platform, it goes to all the Abroad-SWRA, northern part buses. So I landed in the platform A, and then the lady's like, no, you gotta go to the other one. So I got to the other one, scanned my card, another 75 cents to go to Costa del Este. So that was $1, not bad. And I said, I'm gonna do that because when I mapped it, from when I get to Costa del Este, there is 1 bus stop. The next bus stop is in front of Copa Airline headquarters, right? So I would have had to change buses, and the bus would drop me somewhere, and I had to walk for 13 minutes. Not in this heat. No, ma'am, I wasn't gonna do that. So I got off. I got off in front of Copa Airline, then I called the Uber. And the Uber was like $2.95. I was like, okay, we can do that. So the Uber took me to Casa del Jamon. And then I was asking the young lady, I'm always talking to them. She's like, no, I don't think the buses are allowed to come to this area. Why did I want to go to Casa del Jamon? One sister told me she bought some collard greens. Now, you're not going to find collard greens in the stores here in Panama. There is a farm in the western part of the country where Boquete is. That's where they call the breadbasket of Panama. That's where a lot of our food comes from. All the farms are over there. So they have a farm that grows collard greens, but then they ship it to you. So I asked Crystal, I said, okay, how much did you pay for the shipping? She said it was $10, but she was craving it. So if you come here, think about that. Now, the guy who owns Daiquiri 23, I watched him being interviewed, and he said someone who has land somewhere in San Carlos, which is the opposite side, said that they were going to grow some for him. I don't know what happened to that. I haven't been looking for collard green. I wasn't, just like I'm not into kale so much, I'm not into collard green. If you give it to me, I'll eat it. But it's not something I personally would cook because you got to put all that pork and stuff like that. I'm like, I don't need that. So I wanted to go get some turkey wings. You come to Panama, you will find some whole turkey. Of course, around the holidays, around Thanksgiving, pavo, P-A-V, they call turkey. So if I go to San Felipe where they have the meat market and I'm like, tiene pavo? They're like, pavo? No, mija, no. They don't kill turkeys and sell them. No, chicken. That's what you're going to get. Chicken. And if you want turkey, you're going to get a whole frozen turkey. You can find it at Reba Smith and even at Super 99. They'll have them in the frozen section, right? But I don't need a turkey. And nor do I have collard greens, but sometimes, once in a while, I've cooked turkey wings like I would cook anything else. And since I'm doing protein and green, it would be a nice thing to put on a salad. And then I just wanted to be out there and do it that way. Sometimes I'm in the house, I get cabin fever. I have to do that. So I go in there, and then the moment I walked in, it gave me Middle Eastern vibe. The music sounded from Far East, right? And lots of frozen stuff. You use smoked turkey. My husband used Lipton onion soup mix when we make greens. Oh, okay. Yeah, it's not something I've made myself, so I have no experience. No experience. So they have frozen a lot, frozen meat, frozen sausages and stuff, things that I don't eat. They have a big section for frozen fish, and I'm like, I'm close to the fish market. I'm not buying frozen fish, but the one fish I was looking for, I was looking for some salmon, because salmon is not something you're gonna find easy in Panama. If you go to Reba Smith, you will find some, but they are frozen that have been thawed out. Okay, but and even here they had from the farm. I am not eating farm raised. No. That's why I go to the fish market, because they pick it up from the ocean, and that's where I get it. Okay? So I got some salmon. So I figured this is $18. So I thought that was a good price. Is it the one I got for $18? Yes, $18.37. So I can get several steak out of that. So I'm happy with that. And this is a treat for myself. I don't eat that a lot. I eat more of the cheap fish that I get from Mercado. Even though I haven't been back to that area where they try to scam us. If they have an area outside, that's where I go and get some fish. I was able to find some cauliflower, because I am making veggie burgers and veggie balls on Sunday, and I'm gonna do something with cauliflower. And it's not something that you find very easy here. Like a lot of things. Now you see it, now you don't. So if you see it, you get it. If you don't see it, you keep it moving. And then this was $3.95, which is a good price. If you go to Reba Smith, you're paying $8, $9 for it. So I'm like, no, I'll have broccoli and spinach. I'm good. I refuse to pay those prices. Yeah. But I had to ask this guy, and I'm looking. I see turkey, I see all kinds of things. They even had a whole frozen piglet in there. The first time I got really close to a piglet inside a case was in Barcelona. You know, you go, what is that place used to be called again? And then they had the pig face looking at you. Ooh, I was scared. I'm like, when I was in culinary school, I had a teacher who was a butcher. And one day he came with a suckling pig, they call him this little thing, and he started carving this thing. I'm telling you, I almost had a nervous breakdown. And I'm like, who would take a baby like that and... No, not me. So I believe those are the turkey wings. And they're not cheap. I have to look for them. $12.04. Alas de pavo. They say alas. Oh, alas. Maybe because alas means big wings. Because usually it's alitas for small chicken wings. Alitas. But alas de pavo. Oh, that makes sense. Because remember in Spanish, ita means small. Small wings, alitas. Regular wing, alas. Ah, I learned something today. Alas de pavo. Enteras, full. Okay, so that's two big wings for $12. So you know what? Yes. But you know what? This is something that you treat yourself once in a while. It's not something that's going to become part of your regular diet, because I'll tell you, chicken is about $1.50 here a pound. So we have lots of chicken. I bought 4 chicken breasts the other day for $7. And this sister was like, what? Chicken is very affordable because this is the staple of what the population eats here. Arroz, pollo. Yes. Plantains come maybe a third. Yuca, on par with plantain, but it's the chicken and the rice. You can ask any Panamanian, what is the main thing that you eat? So when the government has program, they have a program where they open these areas, and then they sell things to the cheap. Whenever prices start to increase here, and the people start to, try to rise up, or they're ready to go protest, the government will open certain areas, and then they sell rice real cheap. They'll have them like a 25-pound bag for $5, right? And they give them beans, they give coconut milk, they give salt, they give sugar. Sometimes they have meat, and the meat that they eat here is mostly chicken. Pork is the second one. Beef is third, because the beef here is really hard. But what they eat most of beef, they like the feet, like cow foot. And they have lots of other recipes where they use them. I don't know, I don't eat beef like that. I only try oxtail once in a while. So, no, those are not smoked. No. I'm gonna bake them, yes. You season them overnight, let them get really nice and well seasoned, then put them in the oven, yeah. And then when they're really almost done, throw some peppers, onion, or something like that, yeah. They are not smoked. And I was splurging. I'm like, well, I'm there, why not? When I first came to Panama, I was craving a turkey leg. Could not find it. Even around the holidays, you find a whole turkey, but no turkey leg. Don't look for ground turkey meat. We don't have those things in here. Don't look for ground chicken either. No, they only ground beef, right? Carne molida. So I bought 2 turkey wings. Now that makes me worry how big that turkey was. How much estrogen they pumped into that. So I got 2 turkey legs, again, not smoked. I'm going to do the same thing. Make a gravy. Ooh, now see, you're getting me in trouble. So 2 turkey legs. Now, I don't have anything to smoke turkey leg, but I remember going, we go to the fair, and you go to the carnival, they would have the smoked turkeys. I remember that. So this one is $9.78. So that's not bad. This one's a good price, I think. The turkey wings are more expensive. But they were only $10, $12. Oh well. And then I was like, okay, there's nothing else I want. I bought some free-range eggs because I was out. And that was $3.50 for 12. The free-range is usually a bit more it's pricier here. Like it is everywhere. Hola, hey Lynette. Thank you. Lynette, I cut off all of my hair. I was just covering it up. And I decided I'm not gonna even color my hair. I like the gray. I just turned 68. What am I covering? What am I covering for? No. Alright, so when I make, let's see what else did I get. They had baby kale. Oh, I think I made I made a really good kale salad the other day. And I said, I do not like kale, but I can eat it in that salad. So baby kale, I think it was 6 something. Oh yeah, $5.50 for the kale. All right, but it's clean and everything, so that's why it's a little bit pricey. Otherwise, if I get a bush, it might be $3.50 or $3.95. So I don't mind that but now with the cyclospora going around, I would definitely throw these into a bath and try to clean them more, even though we're not close to where that is, but you just never know, right? And my baby arugula, I love arugula. And you heard me say that, I do not like lettuce. To me, lettuce is a wasted food, but I prefer arugula. I have like 4 things of spinach in there. I'm into the greens. I love that a lot. And I think that's all I had at Casa del Jamon. And again, I didn't get I was the only person who looked like me in there. And I don't know, it's just not my vibe, right? So I would go once in a while if I'm craving, which after I finish this year, I'll be good for the year. I'm not gonna go back, but I could go back. I have a load of arugula growing. Oh, Tawana, you're killing me. I love that. And I even have some watercress in there. We call that bero over here. Bero, B-E-R-O. And they're really good, especially the hydroponic one. They're not as peppery. They're really nice. And, so I'm cooking my oxtail. I don't know when I'm going to do that. And I use the chayote, I use eggplant, carrots, and I'm going to throw a bunch of spinach in there, because I'm not doing any grain, so that's going to be good. Yes, 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 yes. But these two I'm going to use as salad. Like if I grill the chicken breast, just throw on top. I bought a big old thing of cherry tomatoes the other day. I was in the San Miguelito area. The bag was like this big, $1. So I'm like, yeah. And then they had another bag with like 4 or 5 pepinos, which is cucumber. He said, you don't want pepinos? I said, I think I have enough at home. But I can go to San Miguelito and get some really good prices. And that is a 25 cents go, 25 come back, drop me at the metro station, and then I'm 2 blocks and I'm home. Listen, you have to get out. I love to discover. There's another area where you get things for cheap, like 2 big pineapple for $1. 24 de diciembre, 24th of December, there is an area called that. Hola, auntie. So that's what we're gonna do. But for my veggie burgers, because veggie burgers, if you're trying to eat whole food plant-based, when you make, it's not a veggie burger, it's like bean and veggies, right? And then you make it and you form it like a patty, and then usually I'll eat some and then I'll put them on top of each other and wrap them in saran and put them in the freezer. I'll do 2 at a time, right? So that when I take 2, I can eat it. And take it out the night before, and then put it in a saute pan to warm it up. And then I make the balls. When I was doing pasta, which I'm not doing now for a little bit, you could do, when I do my marinara, and then I put them in the marinara over spaghetti, listen, you don't miss anything from not having meat, because those balls are so good. The way I make my veggie bean balls, I love to use lentil, black bean that I partially mash, chickpeas that I partially mash, because again, you don't want it to be like you grounded it in, in a grinder. No, you want to give it leave a little body to it. And then to bind it, because you have to get it to a consistency where you can form it, right? When I was not whole food plant-based, I would use an egg or 2. Egg is a great binder, but I find that if I put some potatoes or sweet potatoes, mash it with the beans, it gives you the consistency that you want. And then you can saute peppers, onions. I like to put capers and olives. And also another thing that I always have with my burgers is oats, right? You can have steel cut oats. I had some oats in the house, I threw them all away. So on the way back from the bus now, I'm like, you know what? I don't want to have to go anywhere. Tomorrow I have 2 Spanish classes, then I have the live. I don't want to be going out there. And then on Sunday, I do the live, and then 2 o'clock is the game. I'm not going anywhere. So we do have a little store. I call it the mini Reba Smith because things tend to be expensive in there. But that's why I don't have a choice. So I got this, a little bit of oats that I saute, in a saute pan, and then I put it in the mixture. It helps with the consistency. Hojuelas de avena. Avena is oats, right? O con canela. Oh no, this one has cinnamon. Ooh. Ooh, that's no bueno. I don't need the taste of cinnamon in my... You like the hat? Thank you, Auntie. And so I bought, they had like some little small potatoes. So I would boil those potatoes and mash them too. And, oh my God. I don't know if I go back and see if they have some plain ones. I don't need the one with canela. I wasn't paying attention. What else do I put in there? And sometimes if I don't use the egg, right, just to offend some vegan people, I could use a little bit of coconut milk. You put it in there to kind of help the consistency. And then once you have the consistency, you know what you got, right? And sometimes I've even used, when I had the yellow cornmeal, I would add a little bit of that in there. But not so much, because cornmeal, it needs to cook. And when you're doing veggie burgers, you already cook the beans and stuff, so you don't want to put anything in there that's going to be kind of raw, right? So you're going to always have to think about that. And then I think I'm going to chop some, I have plenty of spinach, you know, chop it really small and put it in there. Why not? I'm trying to get all my nutrients in the patty, because we're not getting bread to put, you know, the patty in, which you can. I've done the regular burgers with the bread, with the brioche, and then no cheese. I don't eat cheese, but I would caramelize some onions, and then you put it on top, and you have the lettuce and the tomato. Let me tell you, no one could tell you it's not a regular burger, okay? But you could do cheese if you want. Landed in Panama. Hola! Today, wow. What? Your 5th trip since January? Why don't you just stay, sis? That's a lot of money. 5 trips and it's only July. Wow. That is amazing. I've never heard that. No, I travel here, but not like that. I came twice in 1 year, but anyway. So, what I want to do with the veggie burger, since I'm not doing grains, I'm not doing quinoa or anything like that with it, I'm going to make a puree with the cauliflower. I'm going to make it like a mashed potato, but it's going to be a cauliflower puree, right? And then you're going to sit the patties on top. And then I'm thinking arugula. I have cherry tomatoes, if I wanted to add that. I have cucumbers. Do like a nice little salad, maybe on the side. And to top it, I got to think about what we're going to top it, because you know we're going to decorate it. Yes. Thank you, Lynette. Hit the like button. So, I think I'm ready. Tomorrow, yes, now this is a problem. And I know I don't have, I think I threw away my, yeah, but let me tell you, I have so many chickpea bags. This is some corn, but if I cook it, I might be able to use it instead of the oats, or I may not need the oats. You know, I could use some quinoa. The creative juices are flowing. I could use some quinoa. Not the black quinoa. The black quinoa tends to be grainy. But the white quinoa, I could cook it more so it's not grainy and then add it instead of the oats. I know I don't want to put cinnamon in the burger. I know that. Thank you. Yeah, roasted garlic. Yes. So my party, Fridays at Maggie's, is coming on the 31st. It's every other month, the last Friday of the month. And I am thinking, we always have a theme. I think I want to do Mediterranean this time. So, I'll make ratatouille, I'll make the kale salad, I'll make quinoa, I'm going to have curry chickpeas, I'm thinking, what else could I add? Oh, I can get the fish at the fish market. They're very thin, so you can have a fillet that long, and I cut it in half. The other day I made the tofu 2 ways. That was so good. I made a blackened tofu, and then I made a curry turmeric dusted tofu. I cooked them in the pan, and then I added I did a curry, and then the other one, oh, that's when I used my ackee, and I did a sofrito, and then I added the tofu. I didn't even know I was making tofu, and I was eating tofu. It's so good because I do not like tofu. And then I cook a little bit of grits and put it on there. If you saw the picture, it looks like shrimp and grits, right? But it wasn't shrimp, it was tofu and ackee. Listen, that's why I love to kebabs. The price for coconut water is great here. Oh yeah. And I don't even buy coconut water in the can. I just buy the real coconut, pierce it, flip it, and get water like that. I prefer it that way because I know it's fresh, it's natural, there's nothing added to it. Yep. But anyway, ladies, I just wanted to share with you my haul. I did to Casa del Jamon. So if you get a chance when you come to Panama, just check it out. And like I said, this is a place I might go once a year. It's not a place that I didn't love it. But it had the chicken wings, not chicken wings, the turkey wings. And I'm glad that you can steam some fish for your gathering too. Oh, okra, yes. What's coyote? Oh, you mean chayote. I have chayote. Oh, squash and veggies. Okay. But if I'm making kale salad and ratatouille, I think we're good on the veggies. So, but the way I want to do the fish, I'm thinking of doing the fish. It could change. I would do one pot with blackened fish. I make the blackened spice blend with, what did I put in it? It was allspice and cloves and, of course, black pepper, peppercorn. You could put cayenne pepper, but I have to be easy on the cayenne because a lot of my ladies are not into hot food, right? And then you season the fish, and then you just, and what I do for the blackened, I have the mixture, and then I put a little bit of plain breadcrumb, and I kind of make sure the spice is good, and then you lightly dust it, and then put it on the stove. And then it comes out with a nice coating, and it's really good. And the other one is just, again, the fish would be seasoned. Then I use breadcrumb, a little bit of panko, and herbs, and then you lightly dust it and then cook it on the stove. I mean, I did that for myself. Was it this week or last week? Last week. It was so good. And I'm like, oh, I'm getting my protein. Chicken kebab. Oh, I see what you're saying, Tawana. Yeah, that sounds amazing. Yeah. But I'd have to put them in the oven. I don't have a grill. I've been saying I need to get one of those stovetop grill because you're always on the grill marks, right? But with this electric stove top, I don't know. It will still work in the oven? Okay. No, I don't have an air fryer. No. Okay. I don't know why. I'm just not into those air fryers. I'm like, I have not bought one since they came out. And even my microwave, I use it very little. I just do not like those technologies. I'd rather burn or boil something on the stove. I feel better when I do that. But I love the idea of the steamed fish. I'm going to try it one day, Miss Clinton. Yes. But the kebab, it always looks so sexy. You know, one recipe I have also for green peppers, bell peppers, I should say. You cut off the top of the bell pepper, you scrape out all the seeds on the inside, and you make this mixture with cream cheese and beef jerky and scallion and everything, and then you fill each pepper with this, and then you keep them overnight so they get really nice and tight. And then when it's time for your party, you just slice them in wedges and you just decorate a nice plate. And then you put you could do some kale or whatever in the middle with some cherry tomatoes. It is the best thing. They just pick it up and just eat it. Raw pepper, bell peppers. Yeah, you know how you could cook it, they put rice in it, but no, this time you do cream cheese and beef jerky and other things. So it's kind of solid. So good, so good. At the end of cooking, broil to get a little char. Okay, all right, sounds good. You guys come up with so many great ideas. Thank you very much. All righty, so I am going to go and see. There's a video that's supposed to come out at 6 to see if the VA did something to it, so I gotta go check it out. All right, ladies, thank you so much. Thank you for hanging out with my shenanigans. Have a wonderful evening. So good to see you, Dr. Tawana. The ladies are still talking about you know what? Yesterday we had another sister talk about investing and opening the account. So we're still going along the same thing that you taught us when you were here about how to manage our money. So the ladies are very, very interested. And then you will find out that the lady who was talking to me, she's been investing forever. And she's a trader. She does all that. And they have a meeting. They call it something. On Monday, they talk about the stock market, their investment, how things are going. And I'm like, wow, I'm just totally amazed and just grateful. And we have another sister here who just wrote a book. It's on Amazon about how to manage your money and make it stretch, as in this phase of life. So we are taking it seriously, that it's important for us to stretch our monies and become educated on how to manage it. So thank you for starting that. All right. Have a good evening. Good to see you guys. Bye.